What a great episode, guys. Really great episode. Very brief as always, roughly 12 minutes, 13-minute episode. And we just got a little bit of key information, technically a big key information that, towards the end of the episode, but great information as far as Maria is concerned. So I like the scene here where Maria, in the beginning of her entrance here, where basically she's, we find out that she's the Grim Reaper in this scene, um, and which is also, we also find out that Crow's weapon is named after her. He really looked up to her. But I like this scene here where she's fighting the Nevermore, the Grim here, and a whole bunch of stuff is happening in this episode as far as what she what Maria is capable of as far as her skill. Well, what she used to be capable of as far as her skill sets were concerned way back when. Very cool scene here when she's falling down and she's getting ready to toss her weapon in the other direction of the Nevermore that's flying down towards her. Cool thing that she has this button here on the side of her uh, weapon here, and I'm guessing that it's on this button here is on both sides of both of her weapons that basically is like a magnet, which as we see here when it's attached to the Nevermore as part of its wing here, it brings her back up because like I said, she was falling down and she was able to latch one of her weapons onto the Nevermore's wing, push the button, and it pretty much magnetizes and lifts her up back up towards the Nevermore to basically save her life and also look to do more damage to the Grim. And ultimately, where she felt like she had permanently put down the Nevermore, which she didn't. The Nevermore pretty much continued its attempt to kill her. She ended up having to use her silver eyes here in this spot, which in turn pretty much turned the Nevermore into a like frozen statue. Just totally just took it out and pretty much turned into dust right after this. Just like evaporated. It was crazy. And right after the, Maria's fight with the Nevermore, and pops up this fighter here, this huntress, which has lackeys with her. She was basically like the coolest spot in the scene between her and Maria's fight here. Her lackeys were they were nothing compared to specifically her. We never get her name. We don't know who she is because Maria pretty much drops her real quick. No, well, not quickly, but she just eventually kills her. Very cool close up of this young lady here in her fight with Maria, because like I said, her Maria's fight with her lackeys was too smooth. Like Maria's defense in this scene here was really dope. Except for specifically except for her her fight with this this semblance user basically. And like I said, guys, this fight scene between these two was really great. But I also like the fact that they put in like because this young lady said that it's the last 60 seconds of your life, and she pushes the button on the clock there that basically activates her semblance. I like the fact that there was like a countdown clock sound in the background, which was really cool to hear while they're fighting. And of course, the music was good too in this scene. And real quickly, guys, I just want to mention that I love the fact that Maria's weapon becomes a staff here, where she can, I guess, more so like heighten her fighting style a little bit more to be more of a balanced fighter when it comes to both offense and defense. I like that about her fighting technique in the way that she fought here in this scene. But ultimately, this is how we find out through this backstory of Medea that this is how she becomes blind, where the enemy here slices at her face and basically cuts her eyes uh, right in the middle, like literally right in the middle, just sucked, and she was literally screaming out, ravaging pain. It just was crazy, just bad, guys. But ultimately, like I said, Medea ends up finding a way to use her weapons by pushing that button and having the magnetism of it to hit this young lady in the back and then ultimately take her life to pretty much defeat her. And that's how Maria survives this fight. So with the group still traveling and, they're still talking about Maria, and like I said at the beginning of the video, that Crow mentions him naming his weapon after her, and he really looked up to her. Maria pretty much felt like she let down, the world of the past, because she felt like she was super defeated because she didn't have her eyes anymore. She couldn't use her silver eyes anymore. She felt like she was useless, and that's why she pretty much went into hiding all of the, for several years. Which is still kind of interesting that she pops up, very randomly. But, at the same time, RWBY even mentions her training her to use her silver eyes, but she doesn't respond with anything before RWBY gets the call from Jean. But, I just find it kind of interesting that, the Maria, aka the Grim Reaper, shows up randomly, out of nowhere, during their travels, before, the group splits up, and you know now there's definitely a reason. Again, it's random, but there's a reason, and of course we all believe that Maria is gonna, more than likely, train RWBY to help her to use her silver eyes a little bit better than how she has in the past. Um, so we'll see, guys. We'll see. And sure enough, like I said, when Jean making the call to RWBY, they end up finding out roughly 30 seconds later that they've officially arrived at Argus and have officially met up with Jean and everybody else. And as always, in a reunion with the group, it's always great when they have, really cool moments like this where everybody's just glad to see each other. Nora, as always, as beautiful as she is, I just love her bubbly character. And she just really just stood out to me, both when she, bum rushes, where she bum rushes, Oscar here. It was just very, very funny that she does that. She's like, just literally jumps right on, on him, or through him, basically knocks him over. But this was, like I said, guys, this was a really great scene, a great moment here in this spot here. Very touching moment here, though, guys, between Jean and RWBY. Now, obviously, they have a conversation where, if you remember back in chapter 1, where RWBY pretty much says, I promise, we'll meet up together in Argus. And they do here, but it was a moment that stood out to me because they both had a very interesting look on their faces, as they were approaching each other to give each other a hug. It to me, I mean, this is just me, just talking out loud, thinking out loud, but to me, it showed a little bit of affection between Jean and RWBY. I don't know if that's going to be a thing in the future, but it's just something that just stood out to me when they met up, in this scene here for this hug. But it was just, like I said, it was just very interesting that they both had a look of just more than just a friendship bond to me. But again, it was just to me. So I'm just curious if that's gonna be maybe possibly a thing that they put in to this volume here, guys. Who knows? I mean, I'm just speaking out loud. Maybe it's just nothing at all that I was thinking. Who knows? And I do like this shot here, guys, where they give you the spot of the crew riding the trolley here, and through the through the city here, and they give you a like I said, a big image drop of the the city of Argus here. It just looked really, really beautiful to me, at least. It just looked really, really cool, guys. And the big reveal, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, where we get to see one of the 7 sisters of Jean. That's Jean, one of his older sisters, holding her child there. Really, really cool that they implemented this here. And I absolutely love mostly everybody's facial expressions here. They all are pretty much shocked at the fact that, this is Jean's sister, because he would always rave about them a lot throughout the show. And I love the fact that they truly realize and finally get to meet one of his lovely sisters here. It's really, really great, guys. especially Ruby sliding in. She literally slid into the in front of everybody else with this great expression of shock and joy in her heart. It was really really cool, guys. And a great shot of again, like I said, Jean's sister and her baby. It was it's a beautiful scene, beautiful shot here, guys. Very cute scene, guys. And I definitely love Jean getting picked on by his older sister because they, they do love each other, they really do. But he of course, being the younger brother, being the baby brother out of the crew, out of his sister, all of his sisters, he hates the fact that he gets picked on by them, even still, even being older. It's just funny to me. And I think out of the entire scene, to me, guys, this was the highlight when when John says, "I'm not a baby anymore. That's a baby," and of course, his his nephew just gives him that look of just the angry face crossing his arms. It was very very cute. I really loved it. Like literally, to me at least, the best part of this scene right here is this precious baby. And just a great portrait here, great picture of him and his family. Very very great. And of course, like I said, guys, Jean being still being picked on in this photo here. He just does not look happy at all. All his other family members are really really having a blast in this picture, but specifically Jean stands out still in the midst, in the midst of his the rest of his family. It's just very 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 funny, very very cool, very very touching picture, guys. And then we end up meeting Jean's sister's wife, Terracotta, who comes through the door from going out and shopping, which was really cool spot. They went in this direction, went in this direction here. Very very cool spot, guys. Was definitely obviously wasn't sure what was going to happen in this scene, but with them and adding Terracotta as his sister's wife was really cool, really really great. I enjoyed that. Very very dope, guys. Seriously. But all in all, a great episode. It was really really great. I had a blast. Enjoyed this episode. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, should have mentioned at the very beginning of the of the review, um, that they also had the very beginning of the episode. They had Neo and Cinder having a conversation about really truly teaming up to go after Ruby and anybody else, which was cool in itself. Scene was really basically like 60 seconds long. Really wasn't really anything crazy. They just were back where they basically were back where the relic was, and they just were down there having a conversation about really truly coming together as a team to go after Ruby and crew. So that was that. But all in all, episode was really great. Like I said, I loved Maria's backstory, and I loved the group here coming back together and just having a moment to really rest, clear their minds, just talk about other stuff besides what's really going on in real life, just to have a moment of peace in their lives. And of course, eating food too. They had like each of them had like 2 or 3 sandwiches per each person. But all in all, great episode. Definitely loved it. But that's pretty much my review, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you all think of chapter number 7? Let's have a chat, and I will chat with you all next Saturday with my review of Chapter 8 of Volume 6. Peace, guys.